Well then, I'm David Feldman, and this is the mop-up for May 5th, 2023. Coming up, my exclusive interview with former President Donald J. Trump. It is not Robert Smigel. A lot of people think this is Robert Smigel. I am telling you, it is Donald J. Trump. And my interview with Donald J. Trump is coming up in just a moment. I want to remind you that office hours is every Friday night, starting at 8 p.m. Eastern. If you would like to attend tonight's office hours, the link is in the description. We've got cartoonist Jose Arroyo, comic Frank Conniff, the Reverend Barry W. Lynn, Professor Mike Steinell, and Dr. Harriet Fraud. The link is in the description to this episode. Come join me for office hours every Friday night at 8 p.m. There are many reasons to detest Republican politicians. Personally, I can't stand it that they think I'm as stupid as they are. Mitch McConnell has been serving Kentucky as a United States Senator since 1985. He is currently the most powerful Republican in the Senate, and up until 2 years ago, was Majority Leader. McConnell was reelected to a seventh term in 2020 with 57% of the vote. Now, one would think that's because his voters benefit by having such an influential representative in Washington serving them. But Kentucky, according to U.S. News and World Report, is currently the third unhealthiest state in America. It has the seventh worst economy, and 40% of its citizens are obese. Only an idiot would keep voting for Mitch McConnell. Asa Hutchinson is running for the Republican presidential nomination. Up until last year, Asa Hutchinson was the governor of Arkansas. Arkansas, according to U.S. News and World Report, is the second unhealthiest state in America. Judging by test scores, it also has the eighth worst public school system in America. Yet somehow the man who couldn't rescue Arkansas is going to save the Republican Party. Only a moron would vote for this moron. Nikki Haley is also running for the Republican presidential nomination. Up until 2017, Nikki Haley was the governor of South Carolina, which, by the way, currently has the seventh highest crime rate and 10th worst public school system in America. As governor, she gets an F. But the people who voted for Nikki Haley, and will vote for her yet again, are way too ignorant to know that there are grades besides an F that you can get on a report card. Republican Tim Scott has been in the Senate since 2013, 10 years, and recently Tim Scott announced the creation of an exploratory committee so he too could run for the Republican presidential nomination. Like Nikki Haley, Tim Scott is from South Carolina, and he too has failed his constituents. You'd have to be a complete imbecile to vote for Tim Scott, which is why I'm absolutely certain that Tim Scott is voting for Tim Scott. In South Carolina, 1 out of 5 African Americans live below the poverty line, while the median income for all of Senator Scott's constituents is $50,570 a year. His African American constituents have a significantly lower median income of $32,175 a year. I would tell his voters to do the math, but they can't. One would think that because Tim Scott is African American, he would worry about Black poverty. But Scott's a Republican, so he's doing exactly what he's supposed to for his community. Absolutely nothing. The secret to success for any African American Republican candidate is to make it seem perfectly reasonable to blame black poverty on black people instead of systemic and structural racism. You must be stupid to believe that. And of course, racist. If you want to make it as an African American in the Republican Party, then you emphasize personal responsibility in poor black communities to protect the personal irresponsibility in the rich white ones. Florida's governor, Republican Ron DeSantis, is also about to officially declare he's a candidate for president by highlighting his Florida blueprint for the rest of America. His Florida blueprint for the rest of America. By any measure, DeSantis's only blueprint is one for failure. There is not one single success story that Ron DeSantis can point to other than leading the nation in banned books and actually being a bigger menace to democracy and freedom than Donald J. Trump. DeSantis presents himself as a fighter, waging war on the woke, because he can't win the wars on crime, poverty, income inequality, or COVID. He demonizes the transgender community, passing laws demanding they go to the correct bathroom while his entire state falls into the toilet. Despite his claims of being tough on criminals, Florida has the 6th highest crime rate in America. Despite calling himself pro-life, Florida's infant mortality rate is worse than the national average. Despite Ron DeSantis' claims of being tough on drug dealers, Florida has the 2nd highest number of drug overdoses. Florida is among the bottom 10 states in providing health care to children. It has the lowest vaccination rate in America. Florida ranks 7th in income inequality and has the 15th lowest median income. Florida workers pay more for health insurance than almost any other state. Florida ranks near the bottom when it comes to health care coverage, and it's at the top when it comes to high school dropouts. So why is Ron DeSantis so popular in Florida? Well, I'm going to let you in on a little secret about the Sunshine State. You probably didn't know this because you rarely hear about Florida in the news, but it turns out Florida has a lot of incredibly stupid people living there. Now, I know this must come as a shock. I know all of you think of Florida as nothing but oranges and palm trees, but believe it or not, Florida has a lot of idiots living there, and I'm not just talking about the Trumps. Stupid people aren't the sole voters for Ron DeSantis. Well, actually, they are. It's stupid people who vote for Ron DeSantis. Stupid people filled with nothing but hatred for humanity, including hatred for themselves, their wives, and alligator prostitutes that they have sex with. So, if you want to punish everyone, including yourself, DeSantis is your guy. And finally, we come to Donald Trump. People voted for Donald Trump because they thought the star of The Apprentice would know how to fix our economy. Like I said, stupid. Trump is stupid. His children are stupid. The people who vote for him are stupid. Donald Trump is an all-you-can-eat buffet of stupid. And yes, it's just that simple. As simple as the people who vote for Donald Trump. Stupid. More jobs were lost during the Trump administration than at any time since the height of the Great Depression under President Herbert Hoover, who, just like all the aforementioned, was a Republican. Meanwhile, there's a Democrat in the White House right now, and today they announced 253 jobs were added to our economy in April, dragging the unemployment rate down to 3.4%, the lowest since 1969. Wages in America are up 4.4% over last year. Granted, Americans need better jobs with much higher pay, but I can assure you that's never going to happen with Republicans in charge. And yet, with no record to run on, these idiot Republicans insist they have a record to run on. Only Republicans could think the rest of America is as stupid as they are. In other countries, stupid people are to be pitied. But thanks to gerrymandering and voter suppression here in America, stupid people are to be feared. Republicans are stupid. What are you, a Democrat or an moron? What are you, an moron? I love that. What are you, an moron? Well, earlier today, I spoke with former President Donald Trump. Here are highlights from my interview.
These people.
When you say these people,
these people, you know these people. They're disgusting. They're petty, David. A man is separated. He's arrested. He's separated.
You're talking about the Democrats, the Democrat Party.
Everyone you speak to, David.
They're celebrating and enjoying you being separated from your family.
From my family, from the woman I cheated on.
Right.
To the daughter that I would cheat with.
Yes.
They're so mean.
The Democrats, they have no mercy.
They're so mean, David. They're so sad. They're so mean.
I mean, what is worse when you think about it than separating a family to want to lock you up so you can't see your kids again? Who would do something like that? Just terrible.
They're so mean. They don't give charity, David. These people are just praying for me to go to whatever hell you imagine, David.
Right. You give charity. Didn't you instruct Michael Cohen?
Yes, thank you. I was trying to support single mothers. That's all. I'm just trying to help single mothers support their children, David, by
giving her $130,000.
All they have to do is stay quiet. It's the easiest job in the world, David. Easiest job. David, I created so many jobs for single women mother porn stars, David.
To be quiet.
There's so much winning. These porn stars were winning, David. Winning like they'd never won before. And these people want me to.
There were these porn stars when you were running for president who were essentially crying to you about how unhappy their lives were. And you wanted to silence their tears. You were saying, hush, hush, my sweet darling.
Hush, little porn star, don't you cry. Daddy's gonna keep you quiet as long as he can buy through your silence.
It's a beautiful song.
Hush, little porn stars, baby. Don't have your nose be runny. Daddy's gonna take care of it with $130,000 cash money. I have a beautiful singing voice. I do.
You do.
A lot of people, some people don't say it, but a lot of people do say it. They say I have a beautiful singing voice. You know, I had an uncle in the singing business, David.
Really?
Nat King Trump. My uncle was Nat King Trump. It was a beautiful, his voice was like, it was like listening to a sunset, David.
Yeah. That was my interview with former President Donald J. Trump. And again, I'm being handed a note that is Smigel. I can assure you that is not Smigel. That is the 45th President of the United States, Donald J. Trump. I want to remind everybody who's watching us live right now that office hours begins in about 30 minutes, 8 p.m. Eastern, and I would love to meet my audience. I love talking to my audience, and all you need is the link. You don't even need a Zoom account. Just sign in, register. They'll send you a phone number. You can listen, or you can watch via Zoom and participate. Ask questions, raise your hand. My guests tonight at office hours are Emmy Award-winning cartoonist Jose Arroyo. He's going to show us his rejects. He gets published in The New Yorker, but a lot of his cartoons get rejected, so we're going to take a look at the hundreds of cartoons that he draws that gets rejected. Frank Cana from Mystery Science Theater 3000 joins us. The Reverend Barry W. Lynn, author of Paid to Piss People Off. Professor Mike Steinell, author of Saving Charlie Parker, a novel. And from Capitalism Hits Home, Dr. Harriet Fraud. 8 p.m. every Friday night, and join the conversation. It's fantastic. Meet better people. Hey, if you want to help out, if you enjoyed any of this, please like this. Please hit the like button. That ensures that you get more of the show. That's how it works. That's what I understand. When you hit the like button, it means you'll get more of this. Please share this episode with your friends. The only reason you're listening or watching this right now is because a friend of yours forwarded the link to an episode via email or on social media. And subscribe to the channel. That's the best way to help. I think that covers everything. Please come to office hours. I love to meet. We have a small little show here, and I like to meet every single listener I have. That's how desperate I am. I'm David Feldman, reminding you to stay strong and protect the weak.